Okay, so this should be working now. Um, yeah, so I'll keep an eye on the chat. So just make sure to let me know if you guys hear everything all right. Uh, so yeah, I forgot that Steam did update like last weekend, I want to say, or is like it was basically like right after I uploaded that meta guide or whatever. So basically, it just reset all my settings, and now I just realized it works now. So yeah. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, but that hunt was kind of brutal. Since my audio wasn't playing and I didn't realize it, I'll just go over what I was talking about in the premature streams before this one. So basically, the meta is pretty much solved. Like, there isn't much to do in terms of like innovating. Like, yes, you can swap like let's say you wanted to run maximum amount of damage. You can just swap out Archfiend arms and like the Archfiend arms with the Furious arms and then run the legs. But it's just so much harder because you would have to have like a god tier charm, which isn't feasible for most people. So I'm just gonna recommend my initial build, and then if you get better charms, you could do a switcheroo with the arms and legs of Furious and Archfiend. Now, augment wise, I did some number crunching, and this is pretty much the ideal sets for raw builds. So this would be the attack level 3 with 3 points of affinity. Now this is specifically at the weakness exploit level, so hit zone 45 or higher. So if a monster has lower, like basically is immune to weakness exploit, then of course you would run full attack on all raw weapons. But an interesting thing I found was that for every element weapon or any weapon with elements, you basically want to run max element and then run like a point of attack. Now, other setups depend on the matchup, so it's like for elements, Elemembane only procs at 25 hit zones, and it's only really worth it if you do a setup similar to this. So go down to 5, drop down to 1, and then like this would be the other setup for Elemembane. Is it ideal? Probably not, because you only get that extra 15% boost from Elemembane on the hit zones where it hits 25. So super spam isn't going to really favor Elemembane at all, which is kind of weird. The only playstyle you would want to target a specific hit zone with this much element is probably Spinning Axe, because you are good at pinpoint accuracy. So honestly, you can max out your damage this way, but if you're just lazy like me, then you just stick with this and then just take it into every hunt, because it's good against every hunt that you would take element into, because this is designed around 20 hit zones or higher. If you go under that, you're already deactivating element exploit, so it's not going to be working as intended. So basically, anything lower than 20 goes to raw, like it favors raw. So you can feasibly just swap to another weapon instead of just re-augmenting your current one. And then sharpness boost, it offers no direct damage boost, but if you have like a sliver of purple, the 30 points of raw or 30 points of sharpness does make a difference over the course of the hunt. But again, it's just a longevity thing. In my opinion, it's just better to just try to cram handicraft onto your actual set instead of forcing your weapon to take the damage penalty, because it's like a difference of like 50 points per chop for spinning axe, and then it's a lot more if you're talking about super spam. Right, for super spam you would never augment anything but maximum element actually, so just stating that now. And then yeah, and then yeah, so there are roughly 16 sets you can mess around with. Raw spinning axe, raw super spam, and then the 4 statuses. And then super spam, I'm not running dereliction under these because I don't want to deal with it in an online environment. Dereliction is pretty much only good if you're playing solo and you could control the monster as much as possible. Otherwise, just stick with non-dereliction sets, in my opinion. And then spinning axe is these guys as well. Ironically, the best spinning axe picks are the element file ones because they just demolish favorable matchups. For matchups where they're like more resistant to elements, it would just be better to stick with like the impact files, because they at least KO the monster and then give you that opening of free damage. But when you look at the numbers, it's like a gap of like 100 between the best element file and then the best impact file for spinning axe. Like 100 damage isn't like too much. Like it doesn't just invalidate certain weapons, but over the course of like the hunt, you're popping like 50 damage or 50 spinning axes or double chops, and that equates to potentially about like 5,000 damage. So it's just like it's not gonna like be, or it's just recommended to run better damage in online environments because the meta is different for solo, because you need as many openings as possible for solo, but in online environments like this, you are able to get away with having less openings or stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm just gonna swap real quick. I'm making all kind of mistakes today. Okay. I hadn't realized that YouTube saves your private videos as private if you like swap it. So, yeah. This entire stream was just private. Good thing I caught it a few minutes in. So it's just like, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know where they are. Are they going for Astalos or no? I think they're going for Astalos. Yeah, I hate fighting Zinogre now because they made him so hard to topple in this game. Because, like, his best hit zone is his back. And then it's like, oh, let's just make him a walking tank. Mm. Ooh, a piece of candy. I'm kidding. Okay, so the stream should be fixed now. I'm hearing it on my end. So, yeah. Hope nothing else goes wrong. That's one lucky break. Cool. Cool. Oh, boo. Cool. By the skin of our teeth, we won. Cool. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, it's not that it's not viable. It just like, so all the other quote unquote raw weapons became stronger, and then all the other weapons, or all the, since it's classified as an element weapon, now it's just shoved into the fire category now. Since it breaks the 30 element threshold, it's typic, so it would benefit more as a fire weapon, if that makes sense. Now, does that mean you can't use it? No. There's nothing that prevents you from using a particular weapon, but it would essentially just be less universal, I guess, because like Gold Rathian and like all the status charge blades, and then Royal Order would just do better against matchups where you do need that raw weapon, because they're all I don't know how to explain this better, I guess. So you treat Violet Mitsune formally as a fire weapon now, thanks to the update. Yeah. And then, yeah, I did showcase this a bit, but basically, for spinning axe, you typically want to be running element as well, just because it does an insane amount of damage. Raw is fine and all, but fire weapons, like all the elements, all the element meta picks also dominate in spinning axe as well as super spam. So like Valstrax, there's no reason why you wouldn't run that. It has a massive bar, it requires no sharpness maintenance, but like the only reason why you would run impact, in my opinion, is, oh, are you going to attempt to run solo? Because in solo you do need that, like, as many openings as you can, but in multiplayer, element file just dominates damage wise. You need the extra damage because hunts are longer, so that's one thing you should try to aim for. But yeah, now if you want to run like support, then sure, go for impact, but the gap is like 100, or like it's around 100 for like the best element file weapons versus the best fire weapons, which would be Rathalos, I think it would be Tobi Kadachi for Thunder, and then Kushala. Kushala is actually a second runner-up to Frosty Canth, because it's similar to Violet Mitsune. It's just that Frosty Canth is just a better weapon in that case. So it's close enough where you could just use them interchangeably. But for Fire, Thunder, and Dragon, you have zero reason to run elements, or to run impact over element file, aside from the ability to KO. And then, yeah. And then I haven't really showcased this too much, but yeah. So I basically run the same set, I just colored it differently. So let me just showcase. There we go. Okay. So yeah, these are my sets. I just colored them differently. One thing you can do with the new setup is that you could just run the exact same set and then just choose a different charge blade. That's one thing that's obviously very good with this update. You could just have a million layered sets and just swap in between them freely. These are my favorites personally. Theme wise, these are for the element files. And then for like raw builds, I like these two. Lost Code is just a good charge blade design. But I don't know whether I'm gonna use the one with the cape or the one with a Lost Code. But yeah, back to spinning axe. I feel like it has more room to grow because with stuff like quick sheath, like skills like that, it could actually, or like if we get another skill that's like Frostcraft, but specifically for spinning axe, then it'll be in a good position. Right now, it's just it's just super spam city because of dragon conversion, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what skill we would need to get spinning axe up to snuff. But right now, just in terms of just pure damage, super spam is just superior. It's not even really a contest because like you're dropping 5,000 damage in like one interaction versus spinning axe. They have to do 5 chops to match that on a specific hit zone. So it's just like I feel like spinning axe definitely needs a buff. I don't know what that buff would take, but it definitely needs something other than what we currently have. It's a very comfy build, but I feel like we could push it further. Like if we got 100 ticks per or 100 damage per tick, that would be the ideal position to be in, because at least you take a slightly, like damage wise, that would be like 1,000 with the ticks alone, and then it'll be a 1,500 or something like that. Or you basically up the damage to 2,000 per tick or per double chop, and then you could feasibly match super spam. It wouldn't be like as big as a gap as it is right now. But that's my 2 cents. I feel like super spam teaches bad habits for Charge Blade. Yeah, so like something that shakes up spinning axe, like I messed around with offensive guard where like you just wait for the monster to hit you and then punish right after, but it wasn't it was gimmicky at best cuz sometimes a monster just misses you entirely or something like that. Like we need something to bolster spinning axe that doesn't also just bolster super spam. Because like dragon conversion is a bit too limiting because you lose the Kushala set or the Risen Kushala stuff. But I don't know. Maybe like I could test around with yeah, so I don't know. It would be too late for a rework for spinning axe, but I think it's in a good position right now because with wind mantle being a thing, wirebug whisperer being a thing, you basically shouldn't it like you're basically playing lance with a buzzsaw, because you could just always just guard and or ready stance and then counter with a double chop. So it's not like um you're it's like the keystone of spinning axe is constant damage. There is never a reason why you should be uh letting the monster do their thing without you either attacking it or like shield bashing it. So I don't know. Like at this point it would have to be something like a crit boost 2.0 cuz anything crit related just flies over super spam cuz they can't crit. So if we get like a crit like a boost to crit damage or something uh like let's check some skills real quick. So like if we could make a skill like where is it? Like Charge Jewel, if that was able to synergize with Spinning Axe, that could be a thing. Yeah, but so the evasion set is like extremely gimmicky. Like it's only used it like you can't force a monster to attack you and then you would have to dodge a single attack. It's basically just a guard point but worse cuz there's some downtime after the evade. Like with Charge Blade it barely worked, but with other weapons they could abuse it and actually make use of it. So it's not that it was like it was an interesting idea for sure, but it didn't synergize as well with Charge Blade as I would have liked. Um, but I feel like the last update should buff Spinning Axe instead of just pumping more damage into Super Spam, because I'm kind of tired of saying like, oh, Super Spam is the meta, but Spinning Axe should also, like I've said this in a previous video where Spinning Axe and Super Spam should be like roughly equal. Like it's not that they're doing the exact same amount of damage in the same amount of time frame. It's just that over the course of the hunt, they should both like have a fair shot of doing like around the same times. Cause right now, Super Spam is just doing like sub 5 minutes, and then Spinning Axe I'm doing like plus 6 minutes with optimal gameplay. It's just that's just disgusting. Um, I'm trying to think of previous skills that could help Spinning Axe. Maybe like oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, but the reason why we haven't gotten a Storm Soul decoration in any capacity is because of the fourth and fifth point just uh giving 2 free points on all of your equip skills. So it's just like until like we have to either rework Storm Soul or just deal with it not ever coming as a deco, because basically you could build around Storm Soul and just max out everything. It's really dumb. And I'm not even sure if it'll work with augments because Storm Soul pieces don't have any augments. But with that it said, Storm Soul could be the solution, because the reason why Spinning Axe is kind of limited right now is because it's not optimized. Like the ideal Spinning Axe set would have maximum handicraft, maximum razor sharp, and then all of this at maximum power. Like even this is like, even though it's fully interesting, yeah. Yeah, so like if we get like a skill similar to burst, but it's like it increases the actual damage output of each individual chop, or allows specifically multi-hits to like um to get an extra boost, that would be cool. But I feel like burst does a lot of work on spinning axe already, so that would be a bit redundant. Also, since we know that since the data mines kind of spoil who is going to be in title update 5, title update 5, it's just like it's not gonna be like too much of a change, because we're definitely gonna get like the Risen Elder monster's unique skill. I'm not gonna spoil it here, but basically all the other ones got their skills in the form of decoration, so it stands to reason that the next Risen is going to get its skill in a decoration. It might open up some interesting plays with that, because you are no longer locked to just using the pieces. You could just run the Risen set and then run whatever else you want. But yeah, so the only wild card is the returning elder. Um, we do have some guesses, but based on what the leaks are saying, this elder's armor in the past wasn't too spectacular. Unless they absolutely overhaul it, just like what they did with what was it, Chaotic Gormagala, then it's not gonna be too game breaking for Spinning Axe. Yeah, I can't really talk more about it without breaking into spoiler territory, so I'm just gonna be like, okay, we need this and this. But yeah, I kind of messed around with Frostcraft on Spinning Axe. It isn't the solution, not even close, because you run out of the bar immediately, and then the worst part is that it counts per hit, so Spinning Axe isn't going to benefit from it at all. And then yeah. Yeah, so I honestly don't want it to be Fatalis again. Yeah, like without going into spoilers, I like Atal'Ka for its Naset armor. I seriously doubt it, but since it's a mantis that does a lot of wire buggy things, it would just be on theme. But there's also like two older ones that I honestly really want, because I enjoyed their fights, and then their charge, or the charge blade that was available at the time, was super good. So I wanna fight that. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, I'm basically done with the content in this current update. It's only been like what, 3 weeks? Like I finished it within the first week or so, but like pretty much just doing cleanup at this point, because I have to finish these quests, and then I'm working on crown farming. I got the Espinos earlier today. But yeah, crown farming, don't crown farm in investigations. Yeah, so I have a really strong suspicion they might try to bring back swimming. Now, it's not that it was a bad concept, because like I loved exploring with swimming, but fighting was just bad. So as long as they fix the fighting, I'm all for it. Also, it would give a chance for Lagiacrus to come back, and everybody loves Lagiacrus, so that would be good. But speaking of the next Monster Hunter, I honestly don't think that Sunbreak's iteration of Charge Blade is sustainable, because it has like the entire power boost set is tied to every wire bug and switch skill. And the second you take all of that away, the base kit kind of just suffers. So it depends on how they progress forward. If they go back to simpler Monster Hunter, which is what a lot of fans have been asking for, they would have to either bring back Savage Axe as the substitute for Spinning Axe, which would also be welcome. But yeah, I honestly want to see where they go. And then, since it's most likely going to be on like PlayStation or Xbox, I'm considering getting a Steam Deck just to be able to post content on that, because I actually want to play the next console of Monster Hunter. I did not play World. If I get a Steam Deck eventually, I'll dip into World and probably just stream that instead of posting content, because it's a dead horse at this point. But yeah, I feel like the pacing right now feels like a good rhythm. Cause a lot, like, everything's reactable in Monster Hunter, but the second we go into a territory where monsters are unreactable, that's when the game stops being fun. So, like Flaming Espinos, I like the fight up until it does the Big Bang nuke attack, because I know it can't be blocked. And if he already popped his fire explosion, he pops the second one that you have to dodge as well. So it's just, you need to, or not you, but Capcom needs to be able to balance the speed of Monster Hunter and the whole power scaling of it, because some of these monsters become complete pushovers by endgame. So yeah. But yeah, I feel like, so yeah, for the last update, we're definitely gonna get 10 points of augments. That's gonna be a given, but I feel like there's something that Capcom's hiding that aren't in the data mines yet. So basically, I'm expecting, like, we went 3 points up until 0.5 or level 5, and then we got 5 points, and then we got 7 points. The last one is probably going to be 10 points as a boost. So it's going to be, yeah, so, and then with the last augment, it'll also boost element or something. Yeah, so Capcom did a fairly good job with balancing, because Charge Blade is considered the jack of all trades weapon. So it's like, there isn't necessarily a bad matchup for Charge Blade. It's just like several unfavorable matchups, but it's still manageable. Like Baroth, Giratotis, those are specifically anti-element, and then also Valstrex, and it's Risen. Those are all specifically anti-element, and then they have really hard to hit zones, so it's just like you have to go impact super spam for them if you aren't going to try to thread the needle on their one good hit zone. So yeah, Lance, like, after looking at Reddit and like their builds, I'm like, oh, that's how Lance works. Basically, it's in a way just a better version of Spinning Axe, if that, because like they hit harder, and then I don't know, like, it's just designed to be like poke poke block, poke poke block, and whereas Savage Axe or Spinning Axe was just like, let's try to copy Lance for a bit, for an installment. Yeah, in general, I think Spinning Axe has no bad matchups except for the ones with bad hit zones. but you could feasibly just still hunt them. It's just that you won't be hunting as quickly. Whereas super spam, it's entirely based on speed and hit zone, and the favorable matchups are like the slugs of the game basically. So it's like calls it, Royal Ludroth, Hermitor, like all of them are kind of blobby in nature, and then these faster guys you swap to Spinning Axe. Puke Puke is both do well, but Thunder is just too good on him. And then yeah, like Magnamalo he hits different. Yeah, he's one of the culprits of this. He runs around and then you can't really chase after him because he's gonna charge you. So you just stay put and then wait for him to come to you. Even though he's supposed to be weak to water, it feels like the droplets don't do anything. So it's just like you hit specifically the weak spots and you don't care about his elemental weakness. You just go for the uh, enhanced flaming parts. And then Mitsutsune is actually a decent one because it's entirely prediction based, but yeah, like when they're charging, you kind of just have to wait. It's a test of knowledge for them, but um, like I said with Magnamalo, he basically just does it for kicks. It's like not even a reason why he does it. Similar to Zinogre, like why is like he runs away from you too far, and then you have to chase after him, and then by the time you get there, there's a threat of him just exploding with electricity. It's just like it's not a fun time. And then yeah, Espinos and Flaming Espinos do charge around as well, but you can interrupt it with enough damage, which is like their fights are really well choreographed. And then Tigrex, he does charge around as well, but you know. Yeah, so bowgunners they fan out typically. My issue is when they're not like stun locking him. That's when it becomes an issue because they're either missing their bullets or they're not playing in with a multiplayer setting in mind. They're just going for mad DPS and then missing all their shots. So typically, when a competent group of bowgunners pop up in the server, the monster isn't moving, and that's the idea for that. But not I'm not saying that everybody has to be a god, but um, the same is true when people are they get swatted and then wirebug away, and then the monster targets them. It forces uh, the monster to run that way. So it's just like it's just that it takes a bit of positioning for that. Now with randos, you just get what you get and you kind of just deal with it, or just abandon the quest. It's like it's not ideal for anyone at that point. Uh, I haven't really tested diversion, but like sometimes I would have a charm that has diversion on it, and then I'm like, wow, I'm getting hit more often. It's most likely because it definitely does work, but I honestly don't recommend it because you want like in an online hunt you want to take advantage of as many openings as possible, and you basically guard as necessary. Like yeah. Yeah, from what I've seen, they target the hub host like more often whenever I just join the hunt, and it's only once I start tearing into them is when it goes after me. Wait, I'm trying to. Oh yeah, so Rajang is one of the matchups where I hate super spam against it because it hops around too many times. But once it's down, that's the best time to pop a super for Rajang. Yeah, yeah, like offensive guard is a fun skill, but I haven't tested it enough to deem it worthy of meta or not meta. Um, Honestly, it would have to. It's obviously on impact file sets, but for spinning axe sets, it would be an interesting change, I guess, because it would be 10% of your raw, so it would be like 33 damage or 33 raw attack on top. So, I'll definitely look into it, but yeah. So, online hunts, I don't recommend any sort of like guarding based set, primarily because the monster isn't going to target you. Now, yeah, so that's the main reason. And that reminds me, this isn't technically a spoiler, I guess, but there's speculation saying that we're gonna get some kind of final version of Apex monsters. So it's like we're gonna get some kind of Apex gear. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but it'd be cool because I've been asking for a long time for Apex slash Master Rank version of the Rampage weapons. So yeah. Yeah, Super Spam, right now I have it capped out at like 200 without any like other gimmicks. So like no offensive guard or no like guard point supers basically. Um it's definitely just the threshold for Charge Blade. Uh whenever it whenever an element file is doing lower damage than it's basically not good as long as it's over the impact file threshold of like 200 or whatever, then that's when you would use it. But yeah, so the two main matchups for impact file are Rachna Kadaki, Valstrax, and then the third one would be Barioth, or not Barioth, Baroth, because all of these guys just flip the switch and then they're suddenly immune. And then Gyarados can be taken down with Spinning Axe. But Super Spam should work as well. But yeah, I think I finished everything I wanted to do right now. So yeah, it's a really lofty goal, but basically I eventually want to augment every Charge Blade with every upgrade. That's the end game, and that way I could justify getting that 5,000 hunts on Charge Blade. Right now I'm at where am I? Like just a bit over 2,500. So I'm halfway there. But I need to log more hunts in order to do that. One thing I can do... So yeah, since this title update was a bit shorter, I'm just trying to find ways of keeping busy. So basically one thing I can do is just like hunt every monster 100 times and then basically master each matchup. And then once I master the matchup, I could hunt them and their afflicted version 100 more times. Or something like that. Like, there's just so much to do. Wink, wink. Yeah, at this point, I'm not even doing it for materials anymore, which is like a huge demotivator. Because I used to farm for materials, and then now I'm just like, oh, I already have this. I already have this. I don't need this. But yeah, it doesn't help that most of the ideas, the video ideas I have, they're all for title update 5. Oh yeah. It was just like, oh, I already unlocked all the material stuff or all the stuff um for title update 4 as soon as I level up once. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna farm this and then I'm done, right? Because like that's literally what happened. I booted in. I'm like, oh, I already got the materials unlocked. Yeah, so like I don't mind the repetition of Monster Hunter in general, but as long as there's something to aim towards, that's the real uh endorphin or the endorphin drop or whatever. Cuz like if I'm just playing for the sake of playing, that's kind of boring. If I'm playing for the sake of of meeting a specific goal, then I'm all for it. And let's just check my stuff right here. Yeah, I've been getting some good charms, but not all of them are super good. But yeah, I don't really have much else to do or say. Most likely I'll post either a discussion video or something next week or another stream. But I'm saving a lot of the topics for title update 5. Yeah, I'm like 2/3 of the way there. I'm not gonna get there anytime soon. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna call the stream quits here. Thank thank you Phoenix for tuning in and talking with me while I fix my stream a few times. Sorry about that, but I'll be heading out. I'll try to stream either Thursday or Friday because those are my days off. But yeah, have a good one.